Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. Welcome to this reading vlog. So today is Wednesday, July 28th, and I'm basically done with work. I finished most of the things that I needed to do for the next school year. I just need to finish a couple of little things here and there, but yeah, I'm basically done. So super excited. I just noticed that my iron, where it's right there. Sorry about that. I was ironing my clothes, and yeah, I'm just so excited that I finally have time to film again and to read and do all the things that make me happy. I really needed this break. It was a super difficult, challenging year. Not just because of the pandemic and having to teach from home for a while because of a lockdown, but also because I'm doing a third master's, which I think I'll be done with that by December or January, while teaching full-time at a school. So it was just very, very hard, but I feel great. I feel like, that's done. At least this year, I survived this year. I feel great. I'm very happy with the scores that I got for my classes. They were really good considering that, I was working full time. I'm very happy with my students' results as well. So it was super difficult, but, we're done and I can finally relax a little bit. I really needed this break. So yeah, to celebrate, I'm filming this reading vlog because I love reading vlogs, and even though I don't know what I'm gonna do this week that's so special, but I'm just going to film anyway. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the book that I'm currently reading. That's important. So I'm currently reading Hangman by Daniel Cole. This is the second book in the trilogy. The first book is called Ragdoll. I'm not sure about the name of this trilogy, but the first book is called Ragdoll. This is the sequel. If you are interested in crime fiction, thrillers, mystery novels, I recommend this book. I not this book, but the series, even though I've only read the first and I'm halfway done with the second. If you like good detective stories and good brain teaser, this is just amazing. I love Daniel Cole's writing and I love his cases. But word of advice, don't read this book if you haven't read Ragdoll, because that case is super referenced here, and you really need to know what happened in Ragdoll in order to understand this case and follow the detective's just process of dealing with everything. Something that I find funny, because at first I couldn't remember everything from Ragdoll because I read that book like 2 or 3 years ago, and I don't own a copy. I need to get a copy of that book because I want to own it. While reading this book, like, all of those details came up and I was like, okay, I need to think about what happened, and now I know, like, I remember most of the things. But what I find interesting is that it sounds like the author is trying not to spoil you, because sometimes he mentions like important details from the Ragdoll case, and it's not very explicit. So he says something like, oh, the secret, that thing that happened, but doesn't explain. But if you haven't read Ragdoll, you're not going to understand. So it almost seems like he's teasing you to read the first book if you want to read this one. As far as I know, the third book is already out. It's called Endgame. I don't even know when this was published. Hang on. Okay, this was published in 2018. So the third book is already out. I think for sure it's out. And at the end of this book, I haven't read the last page, but after you read the novel, you have a short interview here with the author, and the last question is about book 3. So have you started book 3 or not? And he says, yes, I've started book 3, and he says that he thought about the story as a trilogy, But beyond the trilogy, who knows? So who knows? Maybe we'll get a fourth book or something like that. That would be interesting. I loved Ragdoll. Daniel Cole is the author that got me interested in crime fiction and thrillers and mystery novels. Like, it's just so good. And I'm really enjoying this book as well because it's amazing. I'm halfway through the book. I'm on page 170, chapter 19, and I think I can finish this by the weekend. So I just want to do this reading vlog, talk about this book every now and then, and yeah. So just so you have an idea of the story, I'm going to read the blurb. It doesn't say anything major. Just so you know, not all the characters from Ragdoll are present in this book, at least so far, because I've read half of it. But yeah, we have the same characters, or some of the same characters. They're really interesting, you know, just it's like I know them now and I just love them. So I'm just going to read the blurb. A body is found hanging from Brooklyn Bridge, the word bait carved into the chest. In London, a copycat killer strikes, branded with the word puppet, forcing DCI Emily Baxter into an uneasy partnership with the American detectives on the case, Special Agents Rooch and Curtis. Each time they trace a suspect, the killer is one step ahead. With the body count rising on both sides of the Atlantic, can they learn to trust each other and identify who is holding the strings? Or will it be too late? So the story, this case is happening in London and New York City. People are being killed in very similar ways in London and New York City. So Special Agents from America and Emily Baxter from London, they're working together. Emily Baxter is one of the protagonists in the Ragdoll book. So she's back, as well as some other characters, some other side characters that were there. And now we have these two American detectives that are working with her. So right now she's in New York City. She was supposed to go back to London because a policewoman was murdered. But while she was on her way to the airport, another crime was committed, another person was killed, and she had to stay and help. So she's very torn into going back to London and help out, you know, where she actually lives, her city, her hometown, or stay in America and work alongside the detectives. At the same time, she feels like the detectives are not telling her everything. One of the detectives was told to keep Baxter out of the loop, so don't tell her everything about the case because we don't want some detective from London to solve the case here in America because that's going to look really bad. So one of the detectives is doing that, but she thinks it's the other one. And so she doesn't trust them really, and she's trying to work the case anyway. Emily is a workaholic. She is a DCI, and that means she's a detective chief inspector. And she was one of the main detectives in the Ragdoll case, so that's why they call her again a copycat killer, in the sense that there are a lot of similarities to the Ragdoll case, or not similarities to the case itself, but a lot of people who were involved in a way with the Ragdoll case are involved now, if that makes sense. That's why you really need to read Ragdoll to understand this one. But yeah, this is what I'm reading this week, and this is where I plan on finishing. I don't know what I'm gonna read next, but I have big plans. Like, I just want to read. But I have a Zoom call at 2:30, and then I think I'm going to call my mom and maybe go out a little bit, go for a walk, read my book, give you some updates. And yeah, so I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so it's the next day. I didn't update the vlog yesterday because I only read in the evening and I was really tired, but I did manage to get to page 200, which was the last page of chapter 21. How lucky am I? So that was my goal yesterday. I did it, and now I want to talk, and I'm going to spoil the book. So I'll make sure that I have the word spoilers here. If you don't want to know anything about the book specifically, just fast forward. Big things happened. There was this major incident, they called, and Emily Roach, by the way, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, and Curtis, they were called, and supposedly they were going to a church, but they enter an old theater, and later on you find out that the theater is now a church. Like, Baxter was also confused. She was looking for a church. She thought they were going the wrong direction. And when they get there, there's like this structure of wires and metal, and people just like stuck in the wires, just like dolls, like made of rubber. And at first they thought all of these people are dead. Then they realized that a lot of the people were not really people. They were like mannequins made of wood. And they were there to just sort of, I don't know, trick them, to make it seem as if they were more victims. And there's this moment in which Roach realizes that one of the victims is bleeding. But it's bleeding in a way that if the victim were dead, they wouldn't bleed like that. This person is bleeding, and he says the dead, he actually says the dead don't bleed, something like that. Let me check. He says the dead don't bleed. He actually says this as he was pulling like Baxter away from that victim. And Curtis noticed that they were like together, and they were talking about something, and so she got curious and she was walking towards them when one of the victims, who apparently was not dead, free themselves from the wire and just slit her throat in front of Baxter and Roach. And that's when they realized that most of the people like stuck in the wires weren't actually victims. They were pretending to be dead, and they just sort of attacked everybody in there, like just the police force that was there. And then they were trying to run for the exit, like the main exit. They were running towards the entrance, and the doors were closed, so they were trying to trap everybody there and just kill everybody. I was reading it and I was like, just it was so scary. But then there was this moment that I really didn't like, because it's sort of a cliche. They go to rescue Curtis, but obviously someone slit her throat. She's not going to make it. We know that. And we have two detectives. So there was that moment that's just so trivial in like cop shows and stuff, in which Roach said, forget it, she's not going to make it. And Baxter was like, no, we have to save her. And Roach was like, no, we have to get out of here. So, that moment in which they are trying to understand what they're going to do, realistically, like in all fairness, Roach is right, because she was not going to make it. And even if they tried to save her, they had to put pressure on the wound, and they were being chased by these maniacs trying to kill everybody in sight. Like, they would never be able to stabilize her enough to run. So I understand where he was coming from. But I actually thought that this reaction would come from Baxter, because she's a lot more practical in that sense. And Curtis wasn't her partner. She was Roach's partner. They find this emergency exit. They are able to get out of there, and they already have like special forces all around it. And then there are 4 explosions, and Times Square is burning. And that's just, it's such an image, the way Daniel Cole describes the situation, and the way, New York is portrayed in films and TV shows, the way people talk about New York being the heart of America, or at least one of the most amazing places in America. And they're using, like, they place the bombs in these popular locations like Times Square. It's just, I'm not American and I'm not from New York. I have no relation to America whatsoever, like personally, but it's just sort of, it was kind of emotional. It was like the city is burning. And I just thought about my own city. I just thought about Porto, and like, if something happened, I was born in Porto. I have a very strong connection with Porto, the city. And yeah, I just started thinking, like, if this happened here, which locations would be the ones that they would choose as being like part of our identity, making progress. And I'm drinking plenty of water, because whenever I have some time off and whenever I'm home just relaxing, I always forget to drink water, which is so weird, because during the year, while I'm working, while I'm at school, I'm always drinking water. When I'm at home, I never do that. I drink tea, coffee, soda, and I never drink water. So I have my bottle here to remind myself to drink water. At least if I drink one bottle a day, I'm happy. Okay, so right now there's someone walking by. Thank you. Okay, so it's the next day, it's Friday, and I went to the beach with my mom, which was fun. I'm not really the type of person that likes going to the beach. So awkward because people are walking by and looking at me funny. But okay, so this morning we went to the beach a little bit and I was reading. So my book is in my bag. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. So yep, made a lot of progress. I'm on page 274 out of 368, so that's nice. We are about to get the bad guy, I hope. Something's gonna happen, something bad's gonna happen, because this police officer, who was one of the detectives in the Ragdoll case in the first book, he's retired and he's just joined the party to help Baxter because he's like her mentor, and I just know something's gonna happen. I really hope he's alright, because it just breaks my heart. I don't even know if you can see me properly because it's super sunny right now. So we're going to my house because I need to change clothes and I need to have a shower, and then we're picking up my boyfriend from work later this afternoon, and I might read some more, and I might actually finish this book either not today, probably not today, but tomorrow for sure, and then on Sunday I can just decide on what I want to read before the new week starts. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's the update for you guys. I think I have clips of me reading at the beach, so I'll just add those. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Talk to you soon. Hi guys, so I'm here to wrap up this vlog. It's actually Tuesday, but I did finish my book before Sunday. I'm actually super sad that I didn't feel myself like reacting to the ending because it was just so good. So they ended up, I don't remember where I left off, but they were able to find out where this cult was having their assembly and they got a lot of suspects, and they gathered that there was a sort of a terrorist attack about to happen in London, and it was just, super stressful to read this. And yeah, I can't really tell you more because otherwise I'll be spoiling the story a lot further, and I don't want to talk about the ending, but it's just so amazing and I was not expecting it at all. As far as characters go, I enjoy Emily Baxter a lot more in this book. She was also one of the protagonists in the Ragdoll book, in the Ragdoll case. But Wolf was the main detective, and the story is a lot about him. But he's gone. You have to read the book to find out why. And in this book, in Hangman, we only have Emily Baxter. I didn't really like her in the Ragdoll book because I just thought that she was like, you know, she was just trying to be a badass and a rebel without a cause, and I wasn't really, into it. But in this book, I really liked her, and I really like Edmund's character development, even though I was not a fan of how the story, or at least in this book, how it ended for him. Like everything's fine, but at the same time, I was expecting more. And as far as like side characters go, Rouge was an amazing side character for Emily, and I really liked their friendship. I really thought that something was going to happen like romantically, but Emily was actually involved, and so I thought, well, that's a whole nother plot for her to break up with this guy that she's seeing and starting up with Rouge. I mean, it's just a whole thing. But anyway, I really like their relationship and their friendship, and yeah, just the ending is amazing. You really have to read this book, but you have to read Ragdoll first. You have to get into this series. I don't know why there aren't more people talking about Daniel Cole's books, honestly. Like, if you're a fan of crime fiction, you're gonna love this. But yeah, I ended up finishing it. I haven't started anything yet. Like, I started another book, but I'm not sure if I'm going to read it now or not, so I'm not going to show you. And I want to talk about something. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm filming in front of my bookshelf, and I never do that because my bookshelf is in the hallway. So I have, like, there's a room behind the camera, and there's a room here on this side. This is our room, and there's a bathroom, and this is the hallway. If you watch my I threw my TBR out the window video, something like that, I'll link it somewhere here. That's the first video that I filmed when we moved in, and I filmed it here so I could show you the bookshelf. But you can see that the quality of the video is just really bad because in the hallway I can't get any natural light. So this past weekend on Saturday, we actually bought a ring light. And I'm just so freaking excited. I'm going to have a picture of it here. Last year I was looking for one because Oshina from Oshina Gotta Read Them All, she had one, she got one. It was just a small one for her phone, but it made a difference. And I was looking for that, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And I actually have one. Like, my phone is here. I have it set up here. I'm just so happy that I can film in front of my bookshelf. Like, this is like me being a real booktuber. Yeah, and the quality of the video is just completely different. It's nighttime right now, like nighttime. It's past 9 p.m. and I'm filming it and it looks good. So there are 3 different settings. So we have this one, which is like, I call it the middle one. Then we have the really white one, this one, just, I don't know. And we have this one. I was filming with this one. Just seems more natural. I'm not sure. I'm gonna play around with it. That was one of the big reasons why I was so inconsistent with my videos, is because working, getting home sometimes really late, and not having the perfect quality or the best quality that you can get. And I know it's not about the quality of the video, like the quality of the picture, but the quality of the content. But there was actually a video that I filmed last year in which I review Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, and I'm just so unhappy with that video because the quality was just so bad. But I couldn't film, like, I didn't have the time. I was getting home late every day and winter was approaching, and I just didn't have the time. So I ended up filming at 6 p.m. with my phone because my camera wouldn't focus and the quality is just so bad. I'm actually thinking about deleting that video and just refilm it because now I have this. And yeah, even though I understand that it's about the quality of the content and not the quality of the picture, it's just, sometimes I'm okay with it. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't care about the quality of the picture. And sometimes I just get really mad at myself and then I don't want to film any videos because I just can't handle the fact that the quality is not the best. So this just solves all my issues and I'm just so happy that I got it. Last year I was looking for one and I couldn't find it anywhere. I was looking for like a phone one, like a small one, but no one knew what I was talking about. Like I went to all these hardware gadget stores and they didn't have it. They only had like studio lights, which are way too expensive and big and unnecessary for this purpose. So now all of a sudden you can find this anywhere. So I'm just so excited. And yeah, I just wanted to wrap up this vlog. I'll try and get back to it. And yay! I hope you are excited about the quality of the picture now because I think this is going to make a difference also in my own personal schedule. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Comment down below if you are thinking about picking this one up or rather Ragdoll. If you haven't read Ragdoll, you can't read this one. Just remember that because a lot of spoilers for the Ragdoll and a lot of just references that you're not going to understand if you don't read Ragdoll first. So just mind that. And yeah, the whole thing. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.